Dun 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 dun. Or if you like being attacked by gay sharks, not with gay sharks, but anyway. Hello, and this is Bruce. I'm GC Rail fan again, starting off with the insane as per usual. And today I'm going to review something a little different for a change. Some of you have probably already seen what I have got here, and you've probably already cast your own conclusions, because some of you are really judgmental bastards, but I still love you. So today I am reviewing IHH's, or Iron Horse House's, Port Road Green Chapter 1, which is a diesel pack containing a 107 class DMU as seen here, a class 27, class 17 and class 40. So today we're going to take stuff out for a little jaunt and everything else, and I will give you a quick review and the lowdown on this. So right, where shall we begin? Well, I'm on the S-Thwaite route today, which is a freeway route via UKTS. I like the S-Thwaite route. I think it's quite nice, and it was a lot quicker to load up than Port Road for me, so it was just a tad easier. As it stands, we've got a Class 107 DMU here. The telegraph pole's in the way there, really, but never mind. So let's have a quick look at the gander of it. So at the front we've got, it's quite nicely skinned and detailed. You can see the seats inside, which I quite like. Again, the trees are in the way. If you actually get the right angle, you can see the moquette on the seats as well from the window. Let me just get rid of the HUD again. You look through the window. I wish that tree would bugger off. Right, there you go. Where's it? Oh, bugger off tree. Right, there you go. That's better. So as you can see, we've got the seat moquette on it, which is quite an accurate rendition of the seating pattern from that period. We've got the blue side frames, or side of the frames, even if I can get it out my gob. And we've also got a blue floor inside as well, akin to what would have been about at the time. Looking at the skins for a DMU, this is not too shabby actually. It's quite alright. Let me just get the HUD up so I can... Oh, okay. So I can get the right view. Ah, there we go, that button. There we go. We've got a DMBS, a DTCL and a TCL or something like that. To that effect, so it's definitely worth having a look. We've got a trailer car here as well, to the standard design for Class 107, typically found in the Scottish regions. And we have then got the other driving unit, which is here. And I'll just zoom in a bit on that. And as you can see, we've got the door handles sticking out, we've got the no smoking vinyls, we've got the destination blind, and we've got the train head code. You can see the driver's blinds, which can be pulled down. I believe they can be. I'll investigate in a bit. The only thing that's missing, I'll zoom out. Yeah, the only thing that's missing is the little blue square on the front, just to say what the coupling code is. But apart from that, externally it looks alright. It's got a bit of wear on it, as emulated as ever. But it looks alright actually, it's not too bad. The lining is okay, the detail inside the cab seems alright. We'll just have a quick look inside the cab. So before we set off, I'll take you for a quick tour around the cab. Let me just get rid of the HUD again. Now basically, the only thing that really stands out as a stark difference is that it seems slightly out of scale. The cab instruments do seem a little bit either on the small side or the big side. The camera view from the seat is from the very back, so unless it could just be because it's from the very back of the seat where the camera is placed, it gives you that feeling of everything being smaller as it is further away from you. Looking around, a lot of the stuff does move. We've got the train brake, we've got the gear throttles and everything else like that. AWS reset, which I won't be using. We've got the horn as well. which you have to hold down so you get the full two-tone on this one. We've got windscreen wipers. Yep, so I always get worried about windscreen wipers. I have a habit of turning them on and then they never turn off again, so I never remember what the button is. We've got lots of switches for detail, a lot of gauges. Some of them don't always work. We'll see which ones do work in a minute or two. We've got a buzzer code as well panel, which is very accurate. I like that. I like the fact that someone took the time to get that in game with the buzzers. I like that. I really do. We've got the AWS here up on the bit in front of us, the little green box with the yellow sunflower, which looks like it's in the clear position right now. But anyway, this won't apply on this route because there's no AWS ramps. We've also got the blinds. No, that's it. You get a little sun visor on these, so you can pull down the sun visor when I get it in the right place. I don't know if you can do it on that side. It's just I'm not on that side at the minute. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Now, in terms of interior views, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Now, the heads out view is that button normally, which has spawned me inside the, well, what is the left-hand side heads out, has spawned me inside the compartment. So you get a driver's cab view, but from a passenger's perspective, which is quite nice. The only problem is you don't get the heads out on the left side when you do that. We've got the heads out on the right side, which, when you click that, spawns you on the left side inside the passenger's compartment. Obviously a slight coding issue, but nothing that can't be ever sorted out. So we're fine on that one. So we'll go back in the cab. We turn on the lights, and we can show you the lights work quite nicely on this one. We'll put her into gear. Now, as ever with these TMUs, in fact I'll open the doors while I'm waiting. Look at that. I think the doors open? Okay, so the doors haven't opened. Oops, sorry. The passengers seem to be mysteriously walking through doors, which is always of concern because that normally indicates they've been taking drugs. But anyway, we're all ready, we're all loaded up to go. The only thing I have noticed so far is we've loaded up with passengers. I can't see any passengers inside the unit. I mean, it's not a biggie to me, because it's nice seeing the inside detail on a proper level. But, you know, it would be nice if they were there. So we've got a 3-car 107. We're going to get ready to depart. This is where we find out which gauges work and which ones don't. So, what we'll do is we're in full forward, train brake off, in gear 1, accelerate. So as you can see, the gauges do work. We have a brake pressure gauge here just to the left of the nipple looking AWS reset. You've got your miles per hour, which is working, and you've also got the dial here, which seems to have yellow bands for gear changes, which is intentionally there. That tells you when you're at the top of the gear, really. On the DMUs, traditionally, and as correctly so demonstrated here, gear 1, even in real life, is 0 to 50 miles an hour. How you drive these things is you throttle back and wait for the arrow to drop out the yellow, which it has, and then you continue up again. So the sound is quite raspy for a 107. Which is quite interesting. Oops. Whoops-a-daisy, sorry, that was my bad. The horn is okay, it's a two-tone. It does sound like a DMU. The only issue I have with it is sometimes it doesn't always work properly if you use a space bar, so you have to spam the living crap out of the bar before it works. But I've never figured out why that is, but apart from that, it sounds not too shabby. The sounds aren't too shabby on the unit as a whole. The only thing I can pick up on is the throttle levels and throttle sounds aren't always representative of real life, depending what gear you're in. Because, for example, on a Metcam 101 in real life, it always sounds different when you're revving up and accelerating in a different gear. But it has the same sounds, but you're just moving quicker in a different gear on this particular one, which is only downside to the sound, really. And the exhaust rasp, which I think is accurate for 107s, but it would be nice if there was just a little bit more clarity and depth in the sound, which would be quite nice, coming through your speakers at quite a nice high volume. What I might do is just turn up TS for you guys. Yes?
Can I just point out, you're using the engine at the same revs, so it won't sound different.
This is true, actually, yeah.
There's no reason for it to sound any different, because it's the same engine between the same RPMs, so it should sound the same.
Even though the 101s I've been on at Ecclesbourne Valley Railway do sound slightly different. That's weird. I'll look into that, but anyway, that'll be for another time. But, okay, yeah, point accepted on that one. And again, you can hear, as we're in the tunnel, the marvels of Mr. James Lutterwood's fantastic road and rail sound enhancement pack. I've just got to look at the cab floor, just try and get the frame rate back up. For some reason, my frame rate is severely dipped in this tunnel. Ah, that's a bit better. There we go. So we're just going through the long tunnel and we're approaching Breesen Road, so we won't stop at this station. We're going to go straight to Esthwaite, or is it Tipton? I can't remember, but we're going to the big ass station at the end of the line. Sorry?
If you're going to Breesen, if you're going through Breesen Road now, you've come from Tipton and you're going to Esthwaite.
Never mind, I'll figure out where it is. My frame rate's really bad for some reason today. I seem to be hitting about 15 FPS on the recording, I don't know why.
Bit shit.
It is, yeah. Just make sure my road is set so we're going to the right platform for a change. So I have the horrid habit on this route of actually not going in the correct platform. Oh, it has routed me straight into the correct platform. Ha 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 ha. There we go, and we'll just slow down. I am overspeeding, I do know, but I knew I could get away with it on that stretch. And we seem to have derpy signals for some reason. I'm pushing tab, but it's not saying approved, so we've obviously got a railworks problem for that one. Gear 2. The brakes are quite good on this DMU, I will admit. Passenger view is pretty much the same as the heads out view equivalent on this DMU. Now my railworks is increasingly loud for some reason. I needed it to turn it up earlier, now I've got to turn it back down. That is interesting. That's a bit better. And as you can see, we've got the clag emitting from the exhaust, which is quite cool. There we go. And we're just coming into Tipton, that's the name of the station. I completely forgot which way round I was going. Yeah, we're coming into Tipton. And we'll swap over to the Clayton. And we'll go down to Wigton on the main line. Then we'll pick up Class 27, come back to Tipton, and we'll go up the Esthwaite line again with the Class 40. So we get a feel for all the engines in the pack. So this will be maybe a bit longer than you first anticipated, which is fine with me.
Well, the ladies and gents at home, Bruce, will actually know how long the video is before they click on it.
This is true, yeah. What I might actually do is, in the description, I will probably do a time link, so it sections up to the different engines.
Sounds like a plan, I'd do that.
It's not a bad idea, is it? Because then people can find which engine they want, and then if they want to break it into sections when they're watching, they can.
There you go.
And there we go, ladies and gents. We have just pulled into Tipton in what seems to be a pretty okay rendition of... Whoops-a-daisy. I pressed the number 2 button and I ended up merging into the footbridge. But yeah, what we've just pulled in and disembarked from what seems to be quite an okay version of a 107 in Railworks. I mean, there's definitely not another one in Railworks. It definitely adds to the DMU list of first generation DMU units. I mean, the underframe detail is not too bad. It's quite nicely done. There's a smidge of underframe rusting and weathering about, which I do like. Let's just go to the couplings. I'll show you a bit more detail before I get swallowed by it. Whoops. So as you can see, we'll just go underneath a little bit. We've got all the couplings there, the hoses are all nicely detailed. The jumper cables, the exhausts are all there. The concertina bit in between, corridor connection. And we've got the other unit here. That's the other thing I have noticed. I don't know if this was strictly a BR regulation, but what I've noticed is when you look at the rear end of the DMU unit, basically the opposite end of what you're driving from, it will spawn a red lamp, like a red train lamp, as in the old-fashioned paraffin lit sense. On the first gen DMUs, there used to be a red lamp inside the spotlights, so you could actually have a red there. I don't know if the separate lamp on the back is relative to the loco movements and regulations at the time, but I have a feeling it should have been the case that they didn't need a tail lamp. But anyway, we'll find out on that one.
Bruce, I think I know. The impression that I get is not all classes of first gen DMU had tail lamps built into the ends. So those that didn't carried a red lamp and would use that on the rear end.
Which is why, if you look at many first gen DMUs, they will have lamp irons on them.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, ladies and gents, what I'm going to do is I will actually take the Clayton out last, the Class 17. I'm going to take out the Class 40 actually first. Now, as you can hear, it does have quite an interesting idling noise because it's sat right next to a Clayton. But it's quite nice. The exhaust ports do work. If I look down, there is a load of clag and crap coming out of all the exhaust ports, which is always a good sign. And the roof is weathered quite nicely, actually. There's some nice streaks in it. It's not been badly done. Definitely not been badly done, actually. It looks like the rain, it's been rained on and the dirt has streaked down and stuff like that, and it looks nice. I do like that on a diesel. Let me just go to the free roam camera, and then I will look at the fan exhaust, well, the fan port, the cooling fan on the top, which is interesting because I only seem to see one arm of the fan, which is moving around very slowly, and I don't even think it looks like a fan as such. So I think that might be a problem with my railworks. So I can't really say much about that. We'll just look at the front as well. So on the Class 40, we have got the discs, which I don't think are controllable.
They never are on IHH products.
Ah, right, okay, that might be why. But if you click the headlight, you do get your driver spawned in the cab of the direction you're driving. If I do find out how to get the lights or discs working, it might be through Scenario Editor, and you have to type in the letter to get it to appear right. So I will investigate that and get back to all you lovely people in due course. So looking around it again, we'll just look around the side and the bogies before we set off. We've got all the buffer beam nose end details, we've got all the pipes necessary there, the orange ETH jumpers and all that malarkey. We've got, quite dark, but they are there, the warning overhead wires signs on the nose of the loco. Let me just zoom in for them. That's the little flash there. Very critical. They've always been a requirement on locos. Probably because many men, well, I think there were several instances in the 60s where steam crews especially were working under the wires, and then they walked upon the tender or something and they got themselves zapped by 25 kV and became toast. So they found it a requirement to put a notice there. I do like this actually. The builder's plate is on the side of the cab of the Class 40. Admittedly, mine is D309 and the plate says number D429, but that can be accepted because I mean it would take you forever to create the textures or whatever to get that number correct for like D309, D308 and everything else, so that's quite fine in my books. There's a lot of raised detail. We've got the checkered plate on the just below the step to get in the cab. I like that, that's modelled nicely. We've got the grab rails, got the door handles. If you look at the bogies, they've been done typically in a Whistler and Peak way of welfare. I don't know, sorry, I lost track of my words there for some reason. Basically, let me just get the angle right, there you go. The bogies look quite typical for a Whistler and a Peak. They've got the nice rusty texture to them, they've got the coil springs with a bit of dirt, and you've got the bright yellow Timkins as well, which is quite useful, I like that. Fuel tank's got a nice bit of dirt, and as does the other bogie. You can see the rivet detail as well, which is quite good. And at last we've got the other end of the coach and the start of our carriages. That's interesting. I think that might be a steam heat emulation. But there seems to be smoke or steam coming from the side of my loco, or is that actually a coding problem? No, it might be a coding problem, because it seems exhaust smoke is being spawned from the sleepers for some reason. Again, that could be my railworks. Anyway, we're going to get going and drive this one. Let me just set the road as well, and I'll also take my jumper off because I was freezing cold earlier and I've gone absolutely red hot. Probably because of the amount of hot air that I've spewed forth from my gob. Which is normally the case.
You have to trim his hair at least twice a year. Otherwise it gets plugged up with all the shit that comes out of his mouth, see?
Yes, quite. Up fast, there you go, up fast it is. That's the one I wanted. Good. Right, keep going. And I've just got to watch that bloody station at Wheaton, because every time I get this wrong, I end up going in the wrong fudging platform. It doesn't matter actually which platform I go into, as long as it's not on the same road as 27. So I'll see if I got the right way, which I haven't, interestingly. Never mind.
Sort of diesel trap that comes.
Oh, give me a second. Give me a second, Callum, because this sounds quite nice.
What sounds quite nice?
It's a Class 40. It doesn't sound too bad. It whistles aplenty. The clag is nice and thick. The only downside to it is the texture seems a little bit pixelated.
Try the horn.
Which isn't too much of a problem with that. And yet I will try the horn. I will do that quite promptly when I find the horn button. There it is. Oh, okay, that one doesn't work.
Does it just go?
No, it hasn't got the spacebar problem which I do sometimes have with these engines. In fact, the only... Hold on a second, I'm just going to stop this engine. Is that the horn? I think it is. Is that genuinely the horn I think it is?
What?
The horn sounds exactly the same as RSC's Class 37.
Yep.
Okay, well that is a strange surprise. I hope he had permission to use that. But anyway, the engine sounds are all right. Could be a little bit more refined, but for the Whistler, they sound pretty all right. It's nice and thrashy. It has the nice whistling sound to it. It's powerful. It's got plenty of guts in it. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's pretty smooth. The brakes did work when I just used them, which is always a good sign, because I have driven engines before in other simulated games and this game as well, freeware ones mainly, where you put on the brakes and it's like, oh, it's got no brakes, which is quite interesting.
What I like to do is when I get a loco, I put the brakes on full and just rev it and see if it moves. Basically, how fast does the train go with the brakes on?
In forward.
Or reverse.
I will try that. I will try that.
I found that with Michael Whiteley Class 24, that the brakes are fairly bit funky, not very good, if I'm completely honest. But otherwise, I think it's a brilliant loco, and I'd recommend it because it's free.
The cab details on the Class 40 aren't too bad, actually. I believe most of it moves. Yeah, most of it does move. The horn button doesn't work. You don't think I can really pick on. The gauges actually work, which is good. AWS will obviously work, but there's no AWS ramps to worry about. The windscreen wipers are self-explanatory. You got your handbrake wheel, which doesn't move, but then again, you don't necessarily need it, in my opinion. The windscreen wipers have to be activated with the V button. Yeah, there you go. Typical of a Whistler. they're slow moving wipers, but it depended on air pressure in 40s. So if the engine's doing 60, then surely it should be whapping around like a bloody Jack Russell's tail at a chocolate bar. But it isn't. So I don't know, that could just be me.
Actually, that sounds like a logical system to me.
It is. I actually
want your wipers to work.
I actually watched on YouTube. I've got to watch it again because I can't remember what it was filmed in the 80s by an amateur guy with like 8mm film or something, and he was in the cab of a Class 40 on a rail tour. This was in the days when in BR you could actually get away with it. Basically, the guy showed the windscreen wipers being turned on and off because the driver turned them on when he was driving and off when he was in the station, for obvious reasons. But when he pulled into the station and stopped, before he turned them off, the windscreen wiper was going really slow. But when he started them on again, when he started moving, it got faster and faster as he accelerated because of the air pressure.
Yeah, because the engine drives the compressor.
Yeah. So that's
So
the only thing I can really.
The faster the air compressor gets.
I mean, call it nitpicking if you will, but it's always the small details you pick up on. And my frame rate has exceedingly dropped today. I don't know why.
Have you done the Kobo yet?
No, that's coming in Port Road Chapter 2. I'm only reviewing Port Road Chapter 1 as we speak.
Right, or...
But how long is this review already? 31 minutes already and counting. I am actually going to need another cup of tea after this because my throat is really dry. Right, we'll start applying the brakes here.
I'm going to check on the progress of that Class 15 getting restored. It'd be nice to get a model of that, really, wouldn't it? That works. I don't know, James, you've been working on one for years and years and years and years and years ago.
Yes. Really, it just needs... Well,
completing.
It needs finishing, it needs the noses finishing, and it needs underframes. It's got bogies and quite a lot of the body.
What are you on about again?
Everything.
My 15 Bruce. No, it doesn't need everything. The main shape of the body is done. It's got bogies and wheels and all the details on those, sandpipes and everything.
You said it's got bogies. Does it have a coal?
No, it
Bogies. Bogies.
Oh, that's convenient. I didn't actually check which platform I was going into at Wigton. It's pulled me right next door to the Class 27.
Huzzah.
Hello, James.
Yes,
Hey up, Geordie. We're filming, by the way.
Hello. Hey.
Brucie is doing a review.
Oh.
You sound surprised, Geordie.
No, not surprised.
Bruce,
I'm just
making
surprised.
content for his YouTube channel. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Never.
I'm just pulling into the platform at Wigton.
If that came through at all.
It should have done. Hold on. Right, okay everyone, we're at Wigton, and we have finally got the Class 27 here. Admittedly with the wrong head code, because I didn't change it, so it's head code 7 when it should be a head code 1, but anyway, not that it matters anymore. Let's just get rid of the HUD for a second. So, this one has a typical horn with a space bar, the two tones are on the same button. And it does sound a bit like a 27. Which is quite cool. Also, James, my
Yes.
Bandicam meter in the corner has gone green, and I don't know if that means...
Right.
Hello everyone, sorry about that. This is all part of the same video, so do not fear. I don't know what happened there, but Bandicam froze, so it was best to double check that I had not lost a lot of valuable footage. So yeah, we've now got the Class 27, the second to last to be reviewed today. We've then got the Class 17 after this for a longer run up to S8. We'll see how long I can squeeze in the next half hour. So we've got a nicely detailed, nicely rendered Class 27 here with all the jumper cables all there, the grease on the buffers emulated as best as possible, and a bit of dirt all over the front. The bogie detail is again very good. It's not too shabby. We've got rivet detail. We'll use the FOV camera. We've got the brake rods and everything else, the Timkins. A smattering of dirt and a little bit of rust colour on there, which if you really zoom in does look pixelated, but when you're actually at a respectable distance it looks pretty damn cool. You've got the raised detail again, including the handle to the cab door and the cab rails as well, cab door rails. That was what I was looking for. We've got the engine grille here, which is of the correct meshy type of look. We've got more in the frame detail with the battery box and the fuel tanks, etc. And we've got the bogie detail again. If we look in between here and the carriage, you should see everything coupled up nicely. That was the intention until that happened. No, and that happened. And it was the intention until that happened as well. Shit. There we go. Yeah, it don't look too bad. It looks alright. We'll go onto the roof. Upon the roof. And on this engine at least, the cooling fan is of the correct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 blades, and as much as it's a very basic texture, it does move. That's the point actually. Have I got it in forward? No, I haven't. Let's see if it goes any quicker with a bit of throttle. Interestingly, it doesn't. The cooling fan does not blow any faster when I rev it up, which it sometimes did on some of these engines. Again, we've got the obligatory exhaust port with the smoke coming out of it, which is absolutely fine. It shoots out in the right direction, the right magnitude. Nice and white smoke, which is quite cool. Again, the roof detail is quite nice with the mottled rust and dirt look. We've got fine detail on the air vents as well, which is quite nice. If you go along the cab, they're all nicely detailed. And what we'll do is
you on about, Bruce?
the Class 27. We'll turn on the.
What sort of buffers has it got? Are they
It's got round ones.
Good. That's accurate.
Yeah, I know it is. It's
Only a
often
couple
a
of 27s came
misconception.
with ovals.
Yeah, it's often a misconception. People get a lot of the Type 2s mixed up on the buffers, and this isn't just in simulation, this is in as a real life detail and as a modelling detail for scale modelers. People always ask, did Class 27s, 26s, 25s will ever have round or oval buffers? Even I forget.
I know a couple of the very first Class 26s came with oval buffers, and that's really where I've got to say something about the accuracy of IHH's Class 26, because the sort of disc head code models in BR Green, BR Blue, they both have oval buffers. However, the later one has the rounder ones, which, to be honest, why can't they have ones with round buffers for, you know, whatever livery?
True. But anyway,
Also,
we're on the Class 27.
Also, the class,
Stop
the
hogging
Class
my review,
26
damn it.
is also known for having more liveries.
Yeah, it is.
Huh?
When you turn the lights on, as normal, we've got a lack of the headlights on the front, which I don't know if that's right or not for this 27 because it hasn't got any discs. The head code panel does light up, and you get the driver at the end of which you're driving from. So let's go in the cab and we'll get going. I'll get the HUD up more set than the road. So I have no idea about the speed limits, I'm still getting used to it. Right, okay. Yeah, there we go. Oops, so daisy. So I'm glad you didn't see that. I've got TS in Windows mode, so I accidentally dragged the window instead of the map. Quite embarrassing. Okay, so we'll take the slow line back this time, going through Gaunton, because there's a slightly lower line speed, so it gives us a bit more time to appreciate the thrash. Plus the fact I don't think I can get back over onto the main line from where I am. Can I? I might be able to. Hold on. Ah, I can. Okay. Oh. Oh, the bloody points are locked out on me. Ugh. Great. Nice one, TS. Nice one. Okay, we'll take the slow line back. Not a problem. Anyway, off we depart. We've got the horn. And for some reason in the cab I've just spawned in, all the gauges are bright white. Which indicates to me there's a fault with my TS.
Well, actually, I've got the same with my Class 26. Is there, like, you know, just the dial is completely white?
My dial is completely white. There is no dial detail. There's just white circles where the dials should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the same issue you have on the 26?
Yes.
Ah, that's interesting. Well, obviously that's an issue with how the developer has done the dials. But, you know, again, only a small thing. Apart from that, in the cab it looks alright. They've emulated wear on the power handles and the brakes and stuff like that. Scratches to the paintwork. The horn button does work this time, unlike the one in the Class 40, but let's listen to it. Let's just turn TS and TeamSpeak up a little bit so people can hear you. Doesn't sound too bad. Sounds a little bit rattly for a Type 2. Stick the pad out. There we go. The engine sounds alright. It's very... It sounds through my speakers anyway, quite bassy, quite deep.
I think they were.
They were, yeah. The looping of the sound isn't too bad, but could be slightly better. But that's the least of my concerns, really. Sorry, I have to look at the cab floor again and just get the frame rate back up a little bit. Don't know why TS is being really slow today, but oh, it's a little bit dangerous. Oh dear, that's not good. That is not good. Yeah, that is not good at all. Ah, that's better. We obviously had a bit of a tight glitch there for some reason. Okay, so we're overspeeding a little bit, so I'll use the brakes. The brakes are quite effective, actually. I like that.
Little fact about the Class 27. Unlike its cousins, 26 and 33, which came with Crompton traction motors, the 27 came with GEC WT459 traction motors, which is
And there you have it, fact of the day.
There you go.
We can put him back into the platform that the 40 came out.
I can also tell you that the Class 27 wasn't as successful as the 26, hence why the Class 27s really lasted just into the 80s, I think, possibly, 1988 they started to get properly withdrawn.
Yeah,
whereas the 26s, they were withdrawn at about 1993, so they survived much later.
They did actually do some quite rare passenger workings as well in the 80s.
Well,
some of them are well documented as well.
The 26 or the 27?
Both, actually.
Well, Class 27s were, I think they were always better at pulling passenger than the 26. That said, if you go onto YouTube, you could probably find clips of rail freight 26s operating passenger trains in the summer.
Yes. Yeah. As I swallowed that bit of lemonade wrong and made my voice go funny.
Also, the Class 27 was succeeded by the Class 150 Sprinters.
It was, interestingly, in the 150 Sprinters, apart from a really small handful, aren't really in Scotland anymore. Which is quite interesting.
The 156s are more successful up here.
Yeah, 156 and 158s in Scotland. Interestingly, the 150s, which were replacing the Class 26s, 27s, and 47s in some cases.
All the push-pull services.
Yeah, actually ended up all down here near the Midlands and around there, which is interesting. I don't know why, but yeah.
I think there was also a case where when the Class 26s and 27s were first built, they were allocated to some English depot for a while, and then
that'd be right.
No, we don't like these.
Some of the soldiers.
Who do we really hate? The Scots. We'll give them to them. Actually, we love them. They are so iconic to Scotland.
Yeah, they are really. I mean, there's some of the Sulzers, when they first came out of being built, they were naturally allocated to Derby Depot or the Nottingham Diesel Pool. Around the 1960s, it got quite confusing. Some engines did have shed. Some of the diesel engines had shed codes allocated to them, but they're actually just all allocated under one area control. Some of the Derby Sulzers made it to Leicester as well.
I know that
which I found interesting.
The Class 17, the 20, I think the 22, no, the 21s, the 29s, and a couple of other locos as well. All the really unreliable locos were that were built by North British were allocated to the Scottish region because of the reliability problems. It was much easier if they, were in a country where the factory was that produced them.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, we have just pulled into Tipton again, ladies and gents, so we're going to hop over to our Class 17 now, when I can click the little devil. There we go, we've got it. Oh, and we've got the spacebar problem. Oh, this one's different.
What's different?
You get a higher tone when you hold the spacebar down, and when you let go of the spacebar, you get the lower tone.
Pretty sure that's not the case.
It is. It is the case, my friend. That is interesting.
Oh, yeah, you get.
Oh bloody hell! I've turned all the windscreen wipers.
No, I get what you're on about. You get the first tone, and it plays on and on and on if you hold it down. It's the same with like the RSC 47, Class 37, and various other locos as well. Even the humble little freeware Class 24.
Yeah. Anyway, back to reviewing. Right, we've got the 17. In real life, there's only one of these left. It's quite an interesting breed of loco, diesel hydraulic, of course. The detailing is interesting. I can't remember. I thought they were hydraulics actually. Could be wrong.
They're
But anyway,
diesel electrics.
they are diesel electrics.
Yep.
Oh,
They
okay.
had
EC WT421.
they had Crompton Parkinson generators.
Oh, okay then. Oh, that makes sense. I thought they were hydraulics, but anyway.
Had GC, some of Cromptons. Anyway, on with the review, Brucie.
On with the review. The bogey detail, again, is not too shabby. Texture-wise, it looks really good actually. I like the 17 bogies. They've got leaf springs in there, everything else. The steps at the end, we've got the rust again. The springs are painted. New word. Anyway, we've got the raised detail again. We've got the handles on the side of the engine doors. We've got the grille, which on the side here, which I do admit could have done with a bit more detailing, but it's not too bad. The number is in the right font. The logo is about the right size. A little bit pixelated when zoomed in, but when you zoom out, it looks about perfect. We just move ourselves along here, maybe a little bit that way. Yeah, that would be perfect. What we'll do is we'll zoom in on the Clayton badge here. So the Clayton Equipment Company Limited, Hatton, Derby. So as you can see, it has got the builder's plate on there with the rust effect screws, and that looks quite nice. I do like that. Again, let's just go up on the roof.
Has it got the recess for the tablet capture?
I'll have a look in a second. It hadn't really passed my mind, that one hadn't. Not all of them were fitted with that though.
Yeah, I know they weren't fitted, but I know a lot of them had the recess anyway.
Yeah, a lot of them did. Well, the engine cooling fan doesn't seem to exist, which is a bit of a downer. The roof of the engine bonnets look alright. The smoke is coming out of the correct place, which is the little chutes at the cab end. I bet they were quite toasty in winter in those cabs. I bet they were quite nice and warm. The roof has got a light rust on it.
The engines in them, the Paxman 6ZHXL engines, were originally intended for diesel rail cars, but they weren't adopted for them, so they were used
which is a shame actually, because they would have been hellfire. But anyway, yeah, back into the cab. We'll have a look around the cab now. As you can see, the texture is not too bad. So all round, it's not too bad so far. Now in the cab, we've got your bi-directional controls, typical Class 17 layout. Quite nice actually. Oh, that's interesting. What does that button do? Okay. Well, it seems that you can't get to the other driver's seat. Do I press Control Plus? No, I actually can only drive on one seat, which is a bit of a pain in the bum, really, if you can only drive from the cab only. Oh, and the heads-out view don't work, and they don't really work. Oh, what the what? Okay, right. So if I go that way, you do get a heads-out view. You have to use the left arrow button when you're in the driver's seat on this one, and then yeah, it's not that fantastically brilliant. You can look around with it in a free your own kind of way. Then if you want to lean out the cab on the other side, you just use the right heads out button, press the other button, and then you look in the right way. The only problem is you actually can't physically drive any way I can get it from the other seat across the way there, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, we can probably survive without it right now. So let's get the road set up. We'll take this up the branch, and this is the last engine we're going to review. So I'm just seeing how long of this stupid thing. Balls. Okay, don't matter. We'll just keep going. So I'll take this down the branch as I want to, and we'll go as far as I actually can physically be bothered to, which will probably be further up here.
James, where are you?
I don't know where he is. He was here a minute ago.
I'm here.
Right, there
I
we
mean,
go.
literally, where are you in the world?
Anyway, right, we're going to set up in the
middle
Clayton.
somewhere.
Oh, have you
Okay.
installed it yet?
Okay, so
Have you installed it yet?
Installed what yet?
Need the speed?
Yeah.
we don't care. Shut up.
Let's refuel the trains.
Basically, well, this is interesting setting off. That is the slowest start I've had, really, at a moderate throttle level. The 17 sounds tinny. It sounds a bit too tinny compared to the real thing. And it sounds a little bit raspy at lower throttle levels, which I'm not too keen on. It's almost akin to the DMU sounds. The idle sounds sound really nice. Again, you know, we'll see how it goes, but the physics definitely are quite interesting on this breed of animal, but we'll have to see. How's the flag doing? Yeah, it looks quite alright actually. The smoke texture doesn't look too bad on this one. The window frame texture could do with a bit of work on it. It kind of looks like it's got a Mazak issue, which is not good. Anyway, we'll drive this past Breeze, and I think we'll take this back to where we started with the DMU. And we'll call it a day, but as a whole, this pack isn't too bad. I believe the cost is... Well, I'll look it up again for everyone, but I think the price is about $19.99, $15.99 or something like that. I'll give you a quick look. Let me just put the brakes on so I don't crash through the tunnel. There we go, that's better. Just give it a welly. There we go, that'll do. I'm just going to visit the website here. And we'll have a quick gander. I really should know the prices by now. Oh, okay. It's the website is not loading up on my computer because my computer is an idiot. Oh, sorry. No, I do beg my pardon. It's actually working now. It's okay. I obviously had a bit of a problem there. Alright, there you go. Port Road Diesel Chapter 1 is available now for £19.99 plus VAT on the IHH website. Again, a link will be provided. There we go. We're just coming through Breezen now. Just open her up a bit. and we'll throttle it out in the tunnel. There we go. Look at the view on this route. It's a lovely freeway route, this. Oh, window frame again. But as you can see, I mean, it's your choice what you think of what you buy. Definitely. But I thought, you know, this was definitely worth reviewing. The pack does have its minus points. The pack has a lot of plus points. Overall, I think it's not too bad. Actually, I will say I don't think it is too bad. What I will say is, obviously, the producer, IHH, has plugged some very valuable gaps in the TS collection. So we've now got a 17, we've got a 107, a much needed DMU, and we've got a class 40, even though there are other class 40s coming about, or are about soon, and we've got a class 27 as well, one of the Scottish favourites. There is a Port Road Diesel Chapter 2, or Port Road Green Chapter 2, which I shall review in a separate video. There's 5 engines that come in that pack. The 25 comes in that one, I think, or the 24 does. And you get a Class 11 coming in that as well, which would definitely be worth having a look at. So that will come at a later date, but for now this is all that's going to be going on. Let's just give it a bit of welly. It don't matter if we overspeed, we'll be fine. I've done 80 with this line before and then only derailed at about 100. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you do have to kind of spam the spacebar sometimes. There we go. We'll pull up and finish at Melling Bridge Halt. I think that'll be quite applicable. And we'll see how good the brakes are from about 50 miles an hour. And the brakes are pretty damn good actually. These brakes are sharp. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect pull up, perfect finish. So everybody, I'm going to sign off here and leave you to debate whether you buy this or not. That's your choice, but I mean it's not bad. This is pretty good. Of course it was designed to go with Port Road and the western lines of Scotland, and as you can see here there is a whoops-a-daisy, let me get rid of the HUD. If you can just about see it, there is the little cutout for the tablet capture next to the emblem. So there you go, all sorted for you. I hope you have a good time. I hope you enjoyed watching this video yet again. So from me it is goodbye, and from everyone else it's goodbye if they're about. Maybe not, maybe I killed TeamSpeak, I don't know. Oh, hey. So So we'll see you guys later.